I always say
That's the worst
communication is a lubrication. And the more we learn to talk about sex, the better sex we're going to have. Guys can have different orgasms too.
Where?
Yeah.
How? What?
Yeah.
I've just been coming once forever? Let's make,
well,
what do we do?
you might not love this. I didn't know penises couldn't be erect. I thought every penis were erect all the time. They're like, flaccid penis. What the hell's that?
Yeah.
How'd you learn sex?
Well, porn. No,
Right.
I actually stopped watching it, to be honest.
Good. When?
This morning.
Let me just walk you through it.
Yeah, wait, why is there a knob? Sorry, go.
I wish I forgot my penis puppet. I am not prepared.
His love life is talked about all over the internet. He was on Dancing with the Stars, despite not being able to dance. He once wrangled a kangaroo with his bare hands.
I did what?
He's your favorite reality TV fuckboy reformed. He can make a woman fall in love at first sight. He is Harry Jowsey, boyfriend material.
But fucking sex, man, that's fun.
We love sex.
I want to honor that. Yeah.
Woo! All right, guys, welcome back to Boyfriend Material, you freaky little flamingos. Look, today's guest, we're going to learn a lot, and I'm very excited. You have an incredible name. Okay, sex educator, doctor of human sexuality, MasterClass instructor, and host of the #1 sexuality podcast, Sex with Emily. Dr. Emily Morse, welcome to Boyfriend Material. How you doing, my love?
I'm doing very well. Good to be here.
I'm very excited.
Me too.
I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to learn about sex.
Yes.
Sex is great.
It's time. I'm so glad you reached out because it's gonna
time.
help.
We need to do it. Like, we're young. We're learning about it all. I feel like growing up, like, I didn't really have much guidance in that world, and then I was trying to figure it out, and I still feel like there's so much more to learn.
There is.
Like,
we're never done learning either.
yeah.
I'm always learning still after 20
really?
years. Yeah, we're
Wow.
never done. It's not like the kind of thing you're like, I learned to play guitar, now I'm done, or golf. Like,
Yeah.
it's ongoing, and every partner's different.
That's
So,
stressful as well.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
like
gonna
girls,
give you all the tools today.
It's so complicated.
Yeah.
There's so much going on down there.
Yeah, and the vagina is like the Rubik's Cube of life. You're like, what the hell?
And they're all different now.
Every single one's different.
Like,
How are you supposed to know?
it's like learning a new language every day.
Yeah.
Like, this is really stressful. But that's what we're going to learn, the
That's
language
why
of
I'm
vagina
here.
today.
We are.
I want to learn a little bit more about why you chose to focus on sex and everything that's going on in that world.
Because I also had zero sex education, and I kept getting into these relationships with guys, and I was like, why don't I know? First off, I thought, why doesn't it feel great to me every single time? How come he's having an orgasm every time and I'm not?
Yeah.
So that was the first thing. The second thing was, I felt like I was always pick good guys, but they were like, well, what do you want? And I was like, or would you like this? And I'd always say, yes, everything you're doing feels good. And I was like, but what if I don't really like it? I didn't know what to say. So I didn't know what I wanted.
Okay.
For number one, why was he always having a good time and having an orgasm and I wasn't? I didn't know what to ask for.
you're
I
hot.
want number two. Yeah.
There you go.
Right? Every time.
Done.
You're like, this is easy.
I figured it out.
I didn't know penises couldn't be erect. I thought every penis were erect all the time. They're like, flaccid penis. What the hell's that?
Yeah.
No. And then number three, like, I was like, why is anyone talking about it? Why is this one thing that we put on this pedestal that's supposed to be amazing and we have no information? Why is it so mysterious? Why can't we talk about it? And when I went looking for these answers 20 years ago, there was literally nothing out there. And I thought, I'm going to make this my life's work. And so I started a podcast and just interviewing my friends and people I knew about sex. And then I went back to grad school and got a doctorate in human sexuality. And I've just been teaching.
Wait, but how did you
since.
get so open and okay to talk about it? Because it is quite a taboo
I had
topic.
to learn. Like, I literally was, I was not born this way like everyone else. Like, I didn't come out of the, womb being like, the clitoris has, 12,000 nerve endings. Like, I was not.
It has 12,000?
I know. We're going to get
Where
to
the
that.
fuck are they?
Exactly.
I can't even find the
Guess
clip.
how much a circumcised penis has? 4,000.
You guys are cheating. That's
I know.
not fair.
Right, because you don't know. But right, that's what I'm
That's
telling
so
you.
not fair.
Well,
me some more.
it is fair, but we don't know how
Actually,
to play
'cause I
that
guess 'cause we
instrument.
come quicker.
Yeah, you come every time, like
Every day.
literally,
No,
every
yeah,
day,
I
all
mean,
the time.
yeah.
And so, and the third thing was like, yeah, there should not be shame in this thing. It seems so confusing to me that like it's supposed to be amazing and it's not.
What about communication? How did you...
How'd I learn that?
yeah, because that's also
That's
terrifying.
the hardest part. I always say
That's the worst part.
communication is a lubrication. And the more we learn to talk about sex,
Wow.
the better sex we're going to have.
Really?
I know, right? Don't you think it's hot to talk about sex once you get over the weird part about it? You're like, that's
Yeah.
so hot. And I'm not just talking dirty talk. I'm like, do you want to know what makes me feel good? Like, let me show you. Like, this is what I've learned about my body.
Wow.
Yeah. And then like you could be like, I want to know. So it's literally just, it gets easier over time talking about sex, but the big gap is that most of us don't talk about it because we don't know what to say. It's weird. Is this going to be weird if I bring it up? But once you get over the gap of it, you're like, and we can go into how to do it, but it gets a lot easier. And now I can't have sex without being like, let's talk about it. Like it's almost like a requirement.
Okay, but are you having
time.
like a steak dinner and like, hey, guess what? You
Yeah,
know, I like
no,
this.
not the first days.
Okay, I was gonna say.
But eventually, when you're in it, when you're with someone regularly,
you're
know. Like, yeah, let's be like, how was that? Like play by play, you know, like what do you like? What don't you like? Without shame.
Do you think younger generations have gotten better or worse at talking about sex?
Worse.
Worse?
Well, I don't think anyone's ever been good about it.
Okay.
I think that younger generations are like, let's talk about it. Like, did we have sex? Didn't we have sex? But as far as the mechanics of how you actually talk about it in a way that's consensual and healthy and hot, I think that we've all gotten worse. And then your generation, younger generation, grew up on porn. And porn is like, people think that that's actual sex and that's what we should do. Like, that's my playbook. But learning to have sex by watching porn is like learning to drive by watching like Fast and the Furious. You're like,
that's actually how I learned how to drive.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Tokyo Drift.
And how'd you learn sex?
Well, porn. No,
Right.
I actually stopped watching it, to be honest.
Good. When?
This morning.
An hour ago.
No,
Right before you got here.
No, it was a couple of months ago because I realized that my problem is that I think I was constantly like feeding my brain being aroused all the time and that this is good and I should be like getting off every day.
Right.
But this is how I should be doing it. And I realized it was kind of gross. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not attracted to this. And
Yeah.
I don't want to keep feeding myself unrealistic expectations or also like
That's great.
it was kind of felt meaningless.
Yeah.
I would skip all the starts where they're like, here's the pizza, you know? I'm like, I want to know it. Get into it, guys.
Yeah, I don't care how you met the pizza guy. I
Yeah,
just want to see you fucking them, right?
Exactly. So then I was just got to a point where I was like, actually, I'm not, this isn't serving me anymore. And then I thought about previous relationships when there was potential issues. And it was because I'd be watching porn.
What were the issues, for example?
Would just be like, okay, maybe I would get like promiscuous mind about other people, or I'd be a little bit flirty of someone I've met out that I know is in that industry.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well, that is already causing a little crack in the
Yeah.
relationship, and that's not necessary. That's
That's
not
so
good.
self-aware. I love that because
At some point, you got to grow up.
yeah, that's why we're here. But it is true that we look at that and we're like, oh, doesn't every girl want to be choked or doesn't every girl want to be spanked? Like, not necessarily. Even ones who work in the industry. So
It's also scary as well. Like, I don't want that on my record.
right,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
need
No,
that.
right. Like that's actually like not consensual a lot of
Yeah.
times. And then the other thing about it, which I think what you might be saying is too, is that sometimes when we have these expectations with porn, you're like, some people get into the loop where they're like, a lot of guys are like, I need porn to get turned on. Like this
Yeah.
isn't as like we escalate our watching. So we're like, I'm gonna watch this porn and then I'm gonna watch a gangbang and then she's gonna bring 10 friends and then you're with one person and you're like, that was actually hotter the porn. So it just your brain gets scrambled when it comes to getting aroused. So it's good to take it out for a while.
Is there a way to? Because I kind of just started looking at previous relationships and I was like, okay, this is what was the common denominator.
Well, what? Yeah.
But for other people that are in it, is there a way that they could maybe acknowledge that they're watching a little bit too much porn or?
Yeah, I think that when people are questioning, do I have a problem with it? It's probably good to explore that maybe I do. Maybe I don't need it to get turned on, or maybe I'll take a beat, or when I'm beating off, take a beat, take a beat from beating off, and I'll just like yeah. So I think so how you know you have a problem with it is when there's consequences. Okay, so. Like, let's say you're like, wow, every time I'm with someone, I find that I have to fantasize about that porn I just watched, or I'm just doing things, I'm taking directly what I saw in porn and doing it in the relationship, or I just find that like porn is actually better than being with an actual human. So those are some of the things where you're like, you know what, maybe I should take a break from it. Yeah. And I don't think that porn is like evil or wrong. Like it definitely serves a purpose. It's like one of our oldest forms of media. Like you look like hieroglyphics in like old caves and stuff, like cavemen.
They do cave porn?
Yeah, there was like cave porn. No, I swear to God, you
There's
find these
cavemen
old
jacking off, looking at the wall.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I know, right? I'm telling you,
that's crazy.
You're like, there's like these hieroglyphs, like women and men, like going down on like you're like, is she giving him like a blowjob and so yes, it's old and it's fine. It's been around
I need
forever.
to look at cave porn.
I know. Well, maybe that's your jam.
There we
Who
go.
knows? I know, right?
I'm re-addicted.
Oh shit, that was on the purpose.
Wait, have you ever been in a porn hole? Like, have you ever been like sucked into it, or you just
Not really.
Have you ever watched it or? No?
Well, yeah, totally.
Okay,
oh my
cool.
god, I watch. It's like my job. Like, think about it. Like, I
wow.
need to watch porn. Like,
my job
sometimes
as well.
I need to try sex toys too. Like 20
wow.
pounds of sex toys delivered to my. I don't try them all. And I have a team. I have like 10 people. And like take this home and masturbate to this. And talk about it.
Sorry.
Not my entire job.
People that work for you, their job is to
try sex toys or watch porn or be like, what'd you think about it? I mean, it used to just be my job because I'm an entrepreneur.
Can I work for you?
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all coming
it's so
across.
fun. Well, I did bring you some things, but like, no, every time someone comes to my house, they leave with like a bottle of lube, sex toys, something.
Wait.
Because I love that. I love spreading pleasure because I don't want there to be, you're like asked how I got shame-free around it is because the more I talk about it, the more I'm comfortable with it. People are like, oh, like, don't you already feel more comfortable right now?
Yeah, it's great.
It's like, yeah, there's like literally nothing off limits.
No,
we all have
it's
sex.
awesome.
You're here because two people had sex, you know? Like, why is that weird?
Actually, I'm not.
Oh.
IVF baby.
Oh, you are? Okay,
yeah.
there you go.
My parents never had sex.
Wow, really?
I'm joking.
Truly?
No, they did.
No, but you're right. I can't make those assumptions.
They did. But both me and my
You know what
brother are IVF were test tube
Oh,
babies.
wow.
So I'm kind of.
Yeah, I guess you're not.
that's
But you
really-
get the.
Yeah. Haha.
Okay.
I beat you.
Shit, I can't say that anymore. I know. It always comes up when I say that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, sex is because people are like, procreation, like it's a big part of like why we're here, but then why can't we talk about this part of it? So yeah, but my job is doing, I mean, it's not just sex toys. I do a lot of educating, but I'm like, that's a big part of it is like, what are the tools we can use to actually make sex better and less shameful?
There's like a bit of a stigma around it as well. I remember
Yeah.
after Taught to Handle because we were kind of branded as these like sex freaks.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, it's $100,000 and if you don't have sex, you can get the money. But then I'm like, well, the point of the show is we probably should just do it.
Yeah, you did that well, right?
Yeah, we did it right.
Yeah,
and
it worked for you.
I think there was like a bit of a stigma around like I guess sex talk or people kind of viewing themselves above people that talk about sex. Is there a way to kind of navigate that? Maybe you want to have that conversation with your friends, or you want to be like, hey, like what works for you or what doesn't? Because I feel like that's really healthy.
So
but
healthy.
Some people are just they put themselves on a pedestal that like. That's like dirty. And
Yeah,
like,
it's
okay.
dirty to even talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it starts here. This is why I love that we're having this conversation because if people are like, it actually is so helpful to be like, hey, dude, like, would you, like, if you're talking to a guy friend, you could be like, what worked? Like, was it hot? What have you learned? Like, what do you think girls like when you went last time you went down on her? Or like, how did you, what? Yeah, like, what have you learned? What was great? Does she have orgasms? Do you care? Like, how have you talked about sex? You know? So I just think, I mean, I think we are going to learn a lot here right now, but I think that it's just doing it and being like, I know, dude, this might sound weird or like but
Let's not make it weird.
Let's not make it weird.
Yeah. Okay.
And I always tell people, I'm like, be that person in your friend group that brings it up and says, I know this might be weird, but can we just talk about it? And then when you're in a relationship with someone saying, listen, I've found, and I always say blame me. I'm like, blame Sex with Emily. Be like, I was listening to a podcast and I've been doing podcasts forever. So I've been a guest on hundreds of them. And I'm like, just blame me and be like, this woman said that the couples who talk about sex have better sex.
Yeah.
The couples who actually have healthy conversation, it's better. So would you be down and talk to me? I know this is weird, but like, what's your biggest turn on? What do you think about? If you're in a relationship, you can say, what was the hottest time we had sex? Like, what was happening that moment and why? Like just get into it and be like, what was good for you? What didn't work for you?
But on the other hand, in relationships, if they say something about it, like, because I know some people get very jealous and insecure.
Don't talk about the hottest sex you've had with someone else, with that person.
Because I was
so
going to
glad
say,
you asked. No.
Because I'm
What's
like,
the hottest
I would be like,
sex
oh my
we've
God,
had?
okay.
No, I've made people have misconstrued this.
Yeah.
Do not talk about your past sex life. Don't. It does
Okay.
not work. And this whole body count conversation, I
hate
hate
it.
that
I hate
conversation. So no, I meant like we've been together a month or 3 months, or like, so what was really hot for you this time we've been together?
okay.
Did you like that makeout? Did you like that time where we delayed it for a while and we were like teasing each other over dinner? Like that stuff with the two of you. I always tell people, like, what's your number? What's your number? And I was in that boat as well. I was like, oh, and then meanwhile, we all know that everyone lies.
Yeah.
They cut that number in half, I think.
Well,
Guys
mine's
cut it in
13.
half. Yeah, right. They say that guys cut it in half and then add 20. So,
Okay.
and that's probably low for you, maybe. But I get
Disgustingly
it.
low.
Yeah. Right. So what is it going to do? So if you're a woman, this is like grossly overgeneralization when it comes to genders, but typically women are like, if you hear she's had a lot of people, you might silently judge her. You might be like, oh, that's a lot, or she's slutty, or I don't want someone who's doing with a lot of guys. And then women are like, well, he's a player, but you don't want to seem the number to be too low either. So anyway, the number is so loaded, but here's what I'm going to tell you. When someone does ask you how many people you've slept with, you can say, you know what? I just want to focus on the sex that we're having or that we're going to have. I don't find that number as important because we immediately are asking because we're trying to orient ourselves in this person's life. So they've had a lot of people.
Yeah.
I got to really step up, or they haven't had enough. Maybe they're like, and none of that is true. Yeah. So even the guys I've been with who have been with like hundreds of people or many lovers, they are not the best lovers. So unlike other things in life, the more you do something, the better you get at it. Sex is not like that. In fact, you could have slept with so many people, but that does not make you a better in bed. There's so many reasons why, but the majority of women aren't probably giving you feedback. They're not saying, this is what I like. So how you get really good at sex is paying attention, asking questions, constantly being like, what is good for you? Because every woman is different. So if you put 100 women in a room and they were all masturbating, let's say, which would be hot.
Wow, yeah.
They'd all be doing something different. Okay. Yeah, we can. It's a good experiment. They would all be doing something different. Yeah. Right? And same with guys. Yeah. So how can we make assumptions? But for guys, typically how it goes down is you're like, I'm hard, let's go, let's have sex. But I might got to tell you this, is that the majority of women are not going to have an orgasm during penetrative sex. So they're just not. They need other things. And so, again, it takes time to understand what she wants, even what he wants. I think that also my heart goes out to men because you guys just don't have this information either. And there might be things that you want too that you've never had. So the more sex you have just means that you're doing it in the same way, but it doesn't mean that you're like a great lover.
How do you navigate the body count conversation if you are a young woman? And you're dating a guy that is insecure or whatever else, and he can't move past it? Because I've had conversations with friends, and they've been like, I like he won't move past it. And I'm like, who cares? Yeah,
she could ask him, tell me more about that. Like, tell me what you think tell me why you think having this information is going to help you in any way.
Right.
And then you just could get back to him and say, I don't feel comfortable. I don't think it helps. Like, this would be like if I could get this information out to everybody, like, it's really not going to serve you. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you that number because it doesn't feel important to me. It doesn't feel, I don't know why it's important to you. What are you going to do with that information? If you're like, you want to go play tennis and you're like, how are you an expert? Are you intermediate? Are you beginner? That might be helpful. I don't play tennis, but I'm just saying, like, maybe it's helpful to know in any sport how much someone has played. Yeah. But with sex, what we are equating that to mean is if you've slept with a lot of people, first off, so what guys do a lot, they're like, all they can think about now, if I said to you 20, you might be thinking of like 20 penises in the room, or 50. You'd be like, oh my God, were they better than me? Were they bigger than me? Like, it just sends us off on this really unhealthy trajectory. So just for people to be like, I'm not talking about that anymore. It's off limits to me. Like, and if that's a no-go for you, then maybe we can't be in a relationship. Like, the people who are obsessed with that number are caught up on this trajectory of like, it's going to tell me some information, but really it's mostly unhealthy information that's going to make people jealous. Yeah, it doesn't benefit people at all. That's my advice, is like, just don't do it. Okay, find someone who's cool with you. I'm fully
getting sidetracked because I was watching this documentary yesterday. This girl, Lily Phillips. Have you seen her? Do you know about her?
It's a familiar name, but I don't know.
She's this OnlyFans creator, and she's slept with 100 guys in one day.
Oh, yes.
And she's going for 1,000. But the documentary, she looked just so sad after it.
Yeah.
And I'm not. Have you got a hot take on that? Have you seen anything? Have you heard about it? Because I
have heard about it.
She's trying to go for the world record, and I looked at the video, and she just looked really. She
probably is sad and probably really tired and probably has some STIs or something.
That's a lot of sausage.
It's a lot of sausage at once.
And she's like she's like, I want to make sure they have a good time. I'm like,
But what about her having a good time? Yeah. Why? Like, why? Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's probably good. Obviously, we're talking about it.
Yeah, money's probably great. We're all talking about it.
She get great sponsorships.
She's crushing it.
But to me, when some of my team sent that to me, and I was like, oh, God, poor thing. Like, why? Yeah. That just seems, she's not going to get better at it. It's to check things off the list. Listen, slow, deliberate sex where you communicate and you build up. Like, foreplay.
It's the best.
The best. Ugh. It's not just a suggestion, it's a requirement, especially for most women. Like, we are slow and again, generalization, some women are like, I'm not like that, but we are like slow cookers. Men are frying pans. Like, you see someone come in, you're like, I'm ready to go. We want to be warmed up. Tell us we're hot. Make out. Slowly undress. In the aggregate, that's what most women want. So I don't know how she's having like wants to be with 1,000 people. That just seems like exhausting and doesn't really tell me anything about her and her. I think it's just like a publicity thing, because that doesn't mean anything. And how hard is that anyway? I could probably have sex with 1,000 guys. Like, I don't know. I have not watched it.
Also, logistics would be incredibly
exhausting.
Difficult.
Yes. Yeah. What are the logistics? Why is she doing it? It's going to be painful. It's going to be like, and she looks sad probably because it's like exhausting. And she gets her like when we are connecting with someone, we get like these really feel good hormones. It's like oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin when we're having sex. It's like the most delicious cocktail of hormones that makes us like attached to people and want to be aroused. And that's why the early stages of relationships are so hot, because we're like literally think of it as the best drug you've ever taken. And you know, after a while, every drug is like amazing and then it comes down. Like that's the same thing that happens with these like love hormones or sex hormones. Yeah. So for her, she's probably just like, oh, I felt connected and now it's over. And she's riding this wave of like things that you can't really control.
I just also wonder what the decompression process after that would be as well. Like, and also what's the end goal? Like, obviously,
what is the end goal?
She wants to break a world record.
But what, like, yeah,
but
to me, that's
like, look,
anti-everything.
Yeah, do like a, eating contest. Or,
I don't even
walk
know.
Across the country. Like, try and break a record like that. Like this.
I don't even know her background. Is she like a OnlyFans person?
Yeah, she's an OnlyFans girl.
So that would make sense. But everything about that, too, is like, it's basically for, I don't know, I think a lot of it is for men's, and we're talking about hetero relationships, but it just feels like it's sort of desperate attempt to get some kind of attention. But I don't think that says anything about, again, going back to what I said, just because you've slept with so many people, is she having pleasure? Like, to me, what's missing a lot is the pleasure conversation, like what actually felt good. And I can't imagine that like 1,000 guys, and they're probably going right pounding away at her like a jackhammer, is actually feeling good to her.
Yeah.
So yeah, because pleasure comes externally too for women. It's not about the internal pleasure.
Yeah, it's got to be really sad.
Yeah, like maybe 1,000 guys have like go down on you or make out with.
That would be crazy.
That would be amazing.
Probably a bit numb though. A lot of crazy tongue action.
Exactly.
Anyway, we're going to move on.
You need a break.
Yeah,
okay.
You need a break. Okay, so there's a segment we usually do on the show called Girl Trivia.
Okay, I love it.
Where my producer Amelia will ask me random girl trivia questions. I didn't know that you could pee with a tampon in.
Yes.
So I need to know about vaginas. Because clearly I don't know anything. And obviously I saw before you have a vagina puppet.
Yeah.
Which I was very confused about.
Yeah.
Like, do you take that everywhere? What's going on?
No, they asked me to bring it. But
Okay,
I bring
good.
it a lot of places. This is actually a vulva.
Wait.
Okay, so this
I
is
thought it was
major.
a type of car.
Volvo.
Okay.
And I
I'm
get
like, damn,
I
they
get
make
corrected when I
vaginas
go-
as well? It's crazy.
So it's a vulva. And the vulva is the external part of the vagina. So the vagina is actually this internal part where babies come out and where they pee. Women actually have 3 holes. So they have the urethra where pee comes out, and then they have like their
I like
pee
the
hole
little
babies
flower.
come out. Yeah.
So nice.
So that's the little flower. So this, let me just walk you through it.
Yeah, wait, why is there a knob? Sorry, go.
Okay. So this is the vulva. This is where remember when I said there was 12,000 nerve endings?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So this is a clitoral hood. Not every woman has this, okay? It's big. This is larger than it appears. So some women have a hood, some women don't.
Okay.
Meaning when they get turned on and aroused, this might go back.
Wow.
Right? But not every woman has it.
Okay.
This is actually the clitoris. So do you know about the clitoris? The clitoris is like the
I've
bulb.
heard about it.
Okay, so the clitoris. So here's the thing: it's like this bulb here, where I'm like, oh, that's like the magic button.
Yeah.
But it actually, this is what has 12,000 nerve endings. But I'm gonna like blow your mind right now.
Hell yeah.
Because this is actually.
Wait, what the fuck is this? A
this
fork?
This is the clitoral legs. So this
Oh
goes.
my
This is
God.
the clit. So this goes right behind, right here. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I'm saying this is the clitoris. This is the clitoris has legs. This is the little bulb, but this goes behind the labia. So this is the labia.
Wow.
So this is where the magic is happening, all in here, right behind here. This is like the internal labia and the external labia, the lips as we call them.
Oh, the lippies.
So when you're playing around here and why women like oral sex and stuff is because all this has to be like turned on and aroused first. So most people don't know this stuff. Like this is like clearly women don't know this. Like it's okay. Girls don't know this.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like-
not right.
Yeah.
So that's why when we talk about like oral sex or like going slow, just like touching this entire part is so important. So external labia, internal labia, clitoris, like urethra where like pee comes out, babies come out.
Sorry,
blood
the
comes
babies
out.
come out of the pee hole
Yeah,
as well?
yeah. Babies come out of the babies come out of the vagina. So there's the vagina,
Wait,
and then
I
there's
thought
the
this
urethra.
was the vagina.
So this is the vulva.
Okay, the vulva.
All external part is the vulva. So the vagina is internal. That's where the baby comes out.
Okay.
But the urethra, which is like right here where the little flower is, that's where the pee comes out. But the tampon goes in here, so they can pee through the urethra.
Wow.
I know. Should we take a minute?
Yeah, I need to go for a walk.
I know.
This is incredible.
I know, right?
This is
It's amazing to know how it works. But women, like I'm telling you, you're
so
not.
much more complex than I thought.
I know. So how?
What are you guys doing? Can we figure this out?
Yes.
Let's get it less complex.
I know. We should have like billboards and shit. We should have like this should be a required learning.
Literally, you should be teaching this at seminars. Well, you do that.
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been doing it a long time. We're trying to figure out like how do we just get this to the world? Like why is this still? This shouldn't be.
Yeah. Let's get Elon Musk to put it on Twitter for everyone to see.
I know. He probably needs to know too.
He probably does. Yeah.
Right? He's been busy in there working on cars and shit. But
Yeah,
like this
brother.
is the magic. I mean, this is where like
Yeah,
babies
fuck
come
going to
out,
Mars.
birth comes out.
Figure this out.
If
This
you
is
want to
crazy.
be boyfriend material, like we should get you like a blow up. Like we got to learn this. Like this is.
Well, it might be a bit intimidating if a girl comes home. She's
That's
like,
true.
Why
We
is there a
can roll it
massive
up.
vagina in your?
I don't
in
know.
your
She'd
room?
be psyched that you were interested.
Well, I'm super
Okay, so
interested.
this is
Yeah,
so
keep
that's
going.
why how the most sex happens, and you tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
You meet someone, you're making out, maybe it's like slow, you're kissing, they close up, and then you're like, I'm hard, and she's like, yeah, I want it, and then you're like, I wish I forgot my penis puppet. I am not prepared. What do we have?
I'm sure
What
we've
do
got
we
one around here.
We can take your.
We've got our best boyfriend award.
we do that? Do you
Yeah,
mind?
no. Do you
Is
think?
this magic to you? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna do this, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps. Tell me if this is familiar.
Hopefully, it's pretty hard to find the hole sometimes.
Yeah. Right. Because
there's 3 of them now.
Wait, I'm jumping up. I'm jumping ahead. So women. So you know when they're wet, like you want them to be wet, right?
Always.
Always. But
Yeah.
sometimes they're not. Does it ever happen?
Never.
Never. It's like me never seeing a flaccid penis.
Yes.
But here's what you need
It's
to
just
know.
always dripping when I walk in the room.
Let me tell you this. Women's wetness level
Yeah.
is unpredictable. Meaning, it is not necessarily an indicator of her being turned on. Women can be wet and not aroused. They can be super hot and be like, I want you to. Do you guys care if we swear? Do you have a sponsor to care? Fuck right.
Do your thing. You literally have a
I want women to-
vagina in your hands, pretending
I
to
want
fuck
you to go.
it.
I don't know. Sometimes
You
like,
go, "Can
babe.
we swear?"
So I want you to go. They're like, I want you, but sometimes it is a little dry, or
Yeah.
like so different times a month. Like with her cycle, she might not be wet enough.
Really?
Yeah, and she might not.
No.
Yeah, or she's
Wow.
or she's wet at the beginning, but not wet like an hour later. So, but how she does get aroused, what will help? I'm not saying she won't get wet, but like
Yeah.
by the slowness, by like rubbing her labia, rubbing all around here,
Okay.
teasing, right, her inner thighs, kissing her inner thighs, like moving in, and then she could start to feel aroused. But a lot of times, you're like, this is hot. Let me go inside of her, and then she might have some pain because she wasn't wet enough. So one of my missions is a lube on every nightstand. Lube gets a bad rap. Lubricant. I brought you some.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I know. Put it on. Really? Put it on your nightstand because it is. First of all, there have been studies, not many sex studies, but there have been studies that have shown when you add a little bit of lube to every sexual situation, women are more likely to orgasm because their clitoris
Wow.
isn't self-lubricating. She might not, and also if she's taking certain medications, birth control pill, antidepressants, that could impact her wetness level. But when she's more wet, first of all, you can get it in easier, but also it helps her have more orgasms because if she's not wet enough, she can have she can get tears.
Yeah.
And if she gets tears, she'll get STIs, and then that's painful.
And we don't
Yeast
need that.
infections. Fuck no.
We're over that.
So I brought you some.
And we need
I
girls
brought you this one.
coming more.
We do need her coming more.
Yeah, we need more coming.
So that's why I put this. Okay, here.
You should run for parliament.
Okay, I got you Morgasm lube. because
Who
it has
who is
some-
Morgasm? What a name.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
This is just the lube I grabbed when I left my house because I love this. It has like CBD in it and THC. This can help women.
Wait, my dick's gonna
What?
get higher?
Yeah, exactly. This one's just fun. I love the name. I thought yeah. So anyway, you rub this on her clitoris. It just helps to have lube. So those are just some mechanics that could be great. But I would say that lube has been shamed a lot because a lot of guys are like, well, it means that I didn't do something right, and then she feels bad. But we don't even really understand lubrication.
What do guys need to know more about vaginas and getting girls going? Because obviously we need to take it a little bit slow. We need to slow down, not try to ram
Slow
that thing
down.
in there.
Yeah, go exactly.
Take it. That's what because when I was younger and feeling freaky, I'd be like, oh my God, I have to have sex right now. Like, we
Right.
have to do it. But then as I grow up, I'm like, okay, well, she's still going to be here regardless. Like,
Right.
whether I try and ram it in now or in 20 minutes,
she's not going anywhere.
She's not going anywhere. We're locked in.
Yeah, you got to know that like that women's arousal, like that women get turned on by like feeling safe. So when women feel safe, it's really hard. Like one night stands and like hookup culture
suck.
is right.
Never again.
It's really hard for women, many women, to feel safe in those situations or to have the most pleasure. Like she might have sex and she's like, that was really fun. Like a lot of times the hookups and the casual sex is like a great story.
Yeah.
And we remember him because we're like, oh my God, I didn't think it was going to happen. And he was so hot. And I saw him and we went home, we fucked all night. It was, but like when you dial it back, you're like, but was it pleasurable? Like, did you feel all your nerve endings light up? Did you have an orgasm? Did you feel connected? That typically isn't going to happen with someone you met 3 hours ago at the bar or at a party. Like, it doesn't work. Like, it doesn't stack up that way. Like, I don't feel as safe. Or if we're really wasted too, it's harder to have orgasms, or we're too high. It's like, it's really fun because it helps you. The reason why we love to drink and to, get high or whatever is because it takes away our what's the word? Our judgment levels go down. Wait, what's the word when we inhibition?
Yes.
So our inhibitions go down.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like crazy stuff I've done, it's actually has been like, oh, I was really wasted, or I was, But again, it doesn't mean do I remember that sex as being pleasurable?
Right.
No, but it got me not to worry so much that I could go home with this person and have sex, and it's a fun story. But great sex comes from like connection, feeling safe, actually being able to say like, actually, please don't go inside me yet. Can you go down on me? Like most women, again, are going to come from a finger. I don't mean like digging around for change inside there. Because here's the other thing. If you're going in here, I didn't even get into the internal part of the clitoris. Like this is where women's pleasure is. There, yeah, it's up. Okay, so so this is the clitoris, but it's all this too. But the G spot is right here.
But some
front
are
part.
further back, or
some are further back. Some are a little bit. They've nerve endings, but this helps to warm this up. Like you're literally warming her up. But you could but you're not going in here. So if you're just bypassing all of this and you're going inside, but for some women, their clitoris is closer to their vaginal opening. And this is all just their anatomy. So if you are going in, the women who can have orgasms, the 20%, it's because.
Wait, 20%? That's
only
it?
20%. Typically have an orgasm through penetration.
Why is everyone I've been with comes every time?
Because they're faking it. They're faking it.
I know.
Women fake orgasms.
Yeah, I've faked some.
I faked orgasm all the time. I faked orgasms until like my late 20s. I was like, I'm like, this is bullshit. Why am I faking? There's got to be a way to actually learn.
Yeah.
And so that's been why I started. I was like, I'm not going to fake it anymore.
So when we did Taught to Handle, there was one of the, I guess, sex experts who was telling me that he has fingered over like 2,000 women because they come to him to be like, hey, I can't come. I have like this mental block. Is that something that you were dealing with, or is there something that because they have a mental block where they legitimately cannot come?
1,000 women. You mean it's something I've dealt with?
Or
yeah.
Okay.
Or
how do
this
you work
is a great
through
question. That? So most women. So what I used to think when I grew up and started having sex, I was like, someday my prince will come, and so will I.
Yeah.
Think about it. I was like, he's going to ride up on a horse. He's going to come into my life, and he's going to make me come. So I thought that men knew what to do. I believe that men were shipped off to some secret school where they were learned everything because I had zero information. I didn't even masturbate. I don't know why. Like I didn't grow up with this. It was wrong. But here's why women don't masturbate is because women don't orgasm is because sometimes they don't masturbate. They don't feel like they may have grown up in a home, like a religious background where they were told that sex is only for procreation. And even if they don't really believe that, they're still like, something about me having sex is shameful and wrong, and I'm violating the universal law or something. So some women, like 3 out of 5 women have had sexual trauma, sexual assault. So when they have sex, they tense up. They're not even conscious of this, but I'm just telling you what I've learned studying to millions of people. Yeah. So for some women, they're tensing. And so when they're tensing their body, they're not able to have orgasms that way. And really, they just haven't learned their bodies and what feels good. So what I'm saying is when I say they're going to come from a finger, mouth, or toys, it's because when you're like, this part, the touching, the using lube, the going slow, the breathing, like that's how she's going to orgasm. But since she feels like, well, you're getting off every time, and I've never explored it, something's wrong with me and I'm broken. But most women just need to take the time, figure it out, masturbate. I'm like, women, you have to come first. You have to figure out your own body, and then you can explain that to a partner. But a lot of women come from rubbing up against something, or when they're little. Like some women are like,
Yeah,
I
had
had
a friend who
orgasm.
used to ride a pillow.
Yeah, they ride their pillows.
What
They
are you
ride a
doing?
horse when they're younger, or they're in the
Oh,
shower.
They're coming from horses?
Yeah, some women come from bikes and horses in the shower when they're
What?
little, but they don't know what they're like 6
Wow.
years old. And they're like, I felt something good, but I don't know what that is. So some women,
I would hate to say that my first orgasm was from a horse.
I know, right?
That would be
You're
really
like,
scary.
fuck, I was riding a horse. But not all women, but some. That's
Okay.
because their clitoris is closer to the is more, has more nerve endings. Like it's all anatomy. And
Wow.
so what I'm saying is that it's a mystery to many women too. But since going back to the most important thing is since we don't talk about it, we don't have appropriate sex education, and we never take the time to learn ourselves, and maybe we prescribe it to men that they should know. It's messy. So we don't know how to
You're
orgasm.
saying we should know our bodies first.
Yes.
Know your body and then be able to communicate it. Because
Yeah.
I think that would help so many people.
I think all people. I had to learn it because I was faking and I was not. I mean, it felt good. I'm not telling you it was bad, but I was
Yeah.
like, I want to have orgasms. Like, I want to know what I need. So, like, sex toys are really helpful for me. Like, a little vibrator is great. Being like, I need oral sex, or I need the fingers, or I need lube, and being like, that is, and I found that most women are like, yeah, me too. I need that too. And then why we don't say that to male partners, like, this is why half my audience is men and half is women, and my podcast, because they just don't know. So we don't want to say anything to you because we're afraid that you're gonna be like, and this could happen. This happened to me. Like, don't use your, like, so sometimes we're having sex, right? Like, I'll have to like rub myself here because I like know that
Oh,
that's
it's so much hotter when it goes.
but there's been so much right. But some guys,
Yeah.
see, I love this about you, but some guys are like, don't do, like, that's
What?
taking away from me. Don't do that. Like, I can't tell you how many women have been like, oh, my partner doesn't want me to touch myself.
No, it's hotter because then I'm like, okay,
She knows.
she's on the way.
Right.
Like, but then I'm like, don't tell me if you're about to, because then
Yeah.
that's game over for me.
Right.
Like, don't
Right.
breathe.
So that's what she needs.
Yeah.
And she could show you how to do it, but it's more
Yeah,
like
it's
this
fun.
mechanical stuff. Again,
Yeah.
that's why she's not coming, because she's got, I say the three reasons why we don't come is like, or like I call them the pleasure thieves, is like, this is for men too, who just have erectile dysfunction or whatever, is stress, trauma, and shame. And trauma is a really big one. Like, it could just be you got messaging that you were a slut. You were told it's against your religion. Some guy teased your labia and said it was weird. Or you.
Yeah.
So then every time we're with someone, we're like, oh, they're not going to like my body. And then when you're in your head during sex, it's really hard to be in your body.
Yeah. There's different types of orgasms as well, right?
Yeah, different types. There's like
Just for girls or guys as well?
guys can have different orgasms
No.
too.
Where?
Yeah.
How? What?
Yeah.
I've just been coming once forever? Let's make
Well,
what do we do?
you might not love this, but
Oh fuck.
prostate orgasms.
No, I'm all good. Yeah. Wait, you just come from putting a finger back there?
Yeah, finger or toy. Listen, the problem is that men have this magical like P spot, like how we have a G spot. You have a P spot in your anus, this area that's about like 1.5 inches, 2 inches up. But a lot of men are like, oh, that must mean something about my sexual orientation if I like something in my ass. And you're like, but I like women. Like, so it gets very confusing.
Yeah.
But if I was a guy, I'd be like, yeah, let me try that out.
Wait, is
A
it on the
straight
top
guy.
or the bottom?
It's on the inside. It's kind of like the same way you find the, God, I wish about my ass puppet next time.
You haven't asked.
I didn't bring my whole kit. It's more
You
like,
haven't asked, puppet.
I have to, I'm a sex educator.
Wait, no, I tried to do it one time.
Next time you come to my podcast, you come to my
Okay.
house, you come to my studio.
Yeah, and
we're
then I'll
like,
finger my ass
Yeah.
on the show.
it's up to you. That's your thing. I can get 1,000 women to finger your ass.
No.
Well, then you'll feel fine with
I
it.
don't need 1,000 women fingering my asshole. Jesus. No, because I tried it one time. I was in the shower.
good,
I was at
good.
university. I was curious. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what's going on back there. I wonder if I'll enjoy it. I didn't. I scared myself. I probably should have chopped my nails first.
Well, the nails, listen, this goes for, okay, so you want to know advice for like women need like, you gotta have a clean hair, cut your fingernails,
Yeah.
clean hands.
Wash
because
your
if
hands.
wash your hands because then they could get an infection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
So-
need yeasty puss.
No, they don't want that.
No.
You don't want that.
Okay, but what if you're a lady and you want to bring it up to your man? Like, hey, I'm ready to finger your bum hole. How do we go about that? Or how do we start those conversations? Maybe you've been dating for a
Yeah,
couple
you're
years.
like, hey, what do you're
Yeah.
at dinner, like you're like
I got
wherever.
a baby carrot. Let me see if that will go in you.
Yeah, you're like, what are you into? Would you be into exploring that? Like, I think it would be really hot.
Or
but
do
you
you think
always
just put
want
a
to
finger
start.
around and go for
No,
it?
see,
Okay.
I'm not a fan of just putting a finger inside because that can be like alarming. You're like,
Yeah.
right? You're like, oh, we're doing that now.
No.
I don't know. I'm not ready for it. But just like putting a finger inside of her when she's not ready. It's the same thing. So I think it's more like, what are you into? Do you want to explore together? I have this guide on my website. It's called the Yes, No, Maybe list. It's probably been downloaded a million times. It's a free thing on sexwithemily.com, or probably, that's probably the best place to find it.
Yeah.
And it has like 100 sex acts on it. And it's a really fun game.
Okay.
So you and your partner can like look at it. I also have it on an app. You could be like, it has 100 sex things on it, maybe 90. And it has a yes and a no and a maybe by every prompt. So it might say, kissing, is that a yes, no, or maybe? Dirty talk, yes, no, maybe. Prostate play, yes, no, maybe. And then you
it's
can
like a
be like,
questionnaire.
and then you go together and you're like, oh, you're a yes for dirty talk.
You
So
got
am
an
I.
A+.
Yeah. And then, but you just come on your yeses. You're like, come together and be like, what? So it's a great tool for
Oh,
couples.
that's so genius.
And
Look
I know.
at you. You know what
I
you're
got a
doing.
lot of tools. I do. I also,
Wow. You got the toys, you got the ass pillows,
Well, dude.
you got the questionnaires.
Well, because I want to make it less shameful to talk about.
Is there like a massive like cultural differences between sex in different places, or is everyone just fucking the same?
Well, it's funny you say that because I'm actually doing a show right now. I'm about to travel around the world and talk to people, kind of like Anthony Bourdain style, but with sex. Like, how do people have sex? And so I would say in some cult, so we're going to go explore that. But I would say the biggest challenges are that most of the stuff I'm talking about, and I think what I'm going to find is this stuff, like when you get down to the grand, like relationships are different in different parts of the world. Like in some places, like I know in Europe, like if you sleep with someone and you go on a date, I remember in this, like in France, like we are together. Like it's unspoken that we are committed without talking about it.
Wow.
So that's more relational. But when it comes to actual mechanics of sex, we are all woefully undereducated when it comes to how our bodies actually work and what we want.
Yeah.
So I think that the only place that we have accurate, comprehensive sex education is it like in the Netherlands. So in Amsterdam, I know it's
Amsterdam?
right. Yeah, Amsterdam.
Well, I've been there.
Not even
It's a bit
because
sexy. Yeah.
it is sexy. You go to the red. Yeah.
I went in the red light district. I didn't go
What'd you
in.
think?
She
No,
punched
but
me
you
in the
could.
face.
It'd be fine. She punched you in the face.
Yeah, I was pretty drunk and I was 18, and all my friends went in, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. The second time I was in Amsterdam, I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure this out. And I walked up really drunk. I started crying, and I was like, look, I can change your life. Like you could be a teacher, you could be anything. And then she punched me in the face, and I'm like, okay, maybe she enjoys her job, and I need to respect that. I just thought she was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
She punched you in the. I'm sorry that happened. That sounds
No,
traumatic.
I probably deserved
You
it.
probably
It was
did.
probably
You
the
were drunk.
third girl I did it to as well. Like, I can
Wait,
change
what
your
did you
life.
say? I could change your life, and she's punched you. You're like, I know everything.
Well, I was like, you could be a teacher, you could do this, you could do that. Like, come on. I was 18, I had long hair,
yeah.
and I was drunk as fuck. I couldn't even change my own life at that point.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
yeah,
But she didn't like that. She probably didn't feel safe.
definitely not.
But in those countries, they teach women, they teach sex at a very young age. And I'm talking like pre-verbal. So what happens here in most places, we don't even name the parts, meaning they'll tell a kid, like, you know, when you're little and your parents are teaching you the parts, so like those are your toes and your knees and your thighs. A lot of times in our culture, we skip right, we go from the thighs, we're like, and that's your belly button. And you're like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Your wee wee or your vajayjay.
Yeah, come
We
on,
don't
guys.
call it. So that starts the shame because you're like, well, I can't even name the part. So in the Netherlands, they'll name the part. They'll say that's your vulva, that's your vagina, that's your penis. So it starts very
They're in
young.
the future.
And they are. The problem with our culture and most cultures is that when we teach sex education, we teach a lot of fear, like
It's scary.
pregnancy, don't get pregnant, here's where your period, here's how you have a baby. So many people have been traumatized by they're like, yeah, my sex ed, they showed us like a baby coming out. But what about, so that's fear, but they also teach
Yeah, so
pleasure.
as well.
So they teach education, comprehensive sex ed has pleasure in it. Like here's your freaking 12,000 nerve ending, here's your penis, here's what you need to know. So those are the places in the world that we feel good about.
What's the number one asked question you get?
From women is why can't I orgasm?
Right.
Am I broken? And I say from men, it's probably why can't she orgasm if they're with a woman. And then I would say in relationships, the number one question is mismatched desire or libidos. Why do I want more sex than my partner? And I'm going to tell you this. I used to assume like there's so many like myths and things that are not true. And I always grew up believing that men wanted sex all the time. And women were like, not tonight, I have a headache. But what I've found is that in relationships, no matter what the genders, there's always someone with a higher desire and someone with a lower desire. And people want to know, how do we want to have sex at the same time? Like, what do we do if I want it every day and he wants it once a week? And believe me, there are men.
What do you do?
So it comes back to communication as lubrication. You talk about it. You're like, okay, I realize that I want sex more than you do. What can we do? And then you figure out like, and this is like really getting into the granular. This is like this book. I also brought you a copy of my book that I wrote last year called Smart Sex.
Damn.
And it's about like, how do we actually, I talk about sexual intelligence, sex IQ, which is something that I just made up for the book. But like, how do we actually understand our bodies to know if I'm in a relationship, here's when I want sex. Like, I don't want it in the morning. Yeah. I'm actually more turned on at night. The weekends are better for me. And you have to like troubleshoot, because for some people at night, they're just like, I'm exhausted. I don't want sex right now. But it doesn't mean I don't want it like at 3:00 in the afternoon or on Saturdays when there's less stress. So we have to troubleshoot our own sex lives, and we have enough self-knowledge to know we can talk about it in a way that doesn't feel bad. So I teach couples, and I also started a community, a membership called Smart SX. It's like a membership community where I have people all over the world, and it's an app where people come together and literally, no, they don't come together yet. But they ask questions. I bring in sex experts and sex coaches to teach people how to communicate, how to ask for what they want, how to learn what they need. So because we don't talk about it. I help couples have these conversations, and just individuals. It's for everyone. How do I know my body? How do I explain what I need? Yeah. How do I unlearn what didn't work for me? And
it's kind of freeing.
So freeing.
In an old episode, I did talk about, how guys feel embarrassed if a girl wants to use a vibrator.
Yes.
What do you have to say to those guys? Because I love it. I used to have a thing I would buy a vibrator in every different color. And then I'd be on a date with a girl. I'm like, oh, what's your favorite color? And then once we come home.
Oh, that's okay. How did that go?
It would be great. And then I'm like, I'm being a bit of a slut. I need to just calm down because I'm spending hundreds of dollars a month on these vibrators when I should be coming to rob your house.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Next time you come.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is so, I love it. That's like sweet though.
Is
like
it?
I mean, no.
I feel like that's
I think it's kind of like it's thoughtful. It's very fuckboy.
Yeah.
Like
that was peak, Harry.
That was peak. And now we're growing up.
Now I'm getting ready for marriage.
Are you? You sure?
Mentally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emotionally.
You're ready almost. Okay.
Well, yeah. After the whole situation with my old man, I started really thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I said, I was telling my friends about it that like, I was just thinking about like, oh, am I husband material? Am I someone that I would want to, that I could see getting married? Because I look at a lot of my friends who are in like happy relationships they're married. I'm like, oh, they're a perfect couple. Like, oh, why would it work for them? And I realized it's because they did the work to get to there. And I never really did the work. I just kind of was having fun. A very unserious approach to relationships.
That's why therapy would be good for you.
No, it's been great, but now
it's like a lifelong journey.
Yeah.
Anyway, on your own. It's so hard to figure shit on our own. Like that's why I think it would be good, especially after your dad. But we don't have to get into that now. I think it would be good.
Yeah. Wait, do you think I'm boyfriend material? Yeah, let's get that. No, okay. Don't answer it. Don't answer it. You paused too long.
It depends on the person. What does that even mean? Do you want me? Okay, so we'll get back to the sex story thing. But do you actually does it feel good for you? Like when you think about being with one person and being monogamous and just having that, how does that make you feel?
Makes you feel excited, to be honest. Because I think that I've had a very colorful and interesting dating life.
Yeah, for sure.
Where I've had, all flavors of the fruit. So now I'm also just like, well, those one night stands weren't at the time, sure, very exciting, but they weren't.
They left with the vibrator, that was good for them.
Yeah, it just wasn't, but it's not fulfilling. It's not like okay, we learn about each other.
Yeah,
we don't have any depth. Like the conversations in the morning. Like some days I'd be putting stuff in my calendar. I'm like, oh, I have to go. I'm so sorry. My day's really busy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get me excited, but I think after the trip back with my family, seeing all the kids, being with my mom, seeing her, oh, I really want a grandkid. Stuff like that made me go, oh, actually, well, I'm kind of just maybe wasting time.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think that's when it changes and you're like, oh, I'm actually ready.
Yeah.
And so then what that looks like is learning to have conversations with someone about your deepest vulnerabilities. I think the thing that happens in relationships is we don't know how to say the things that we think we can't say. Not even just about sex, but about things that you're fearful about or insecurities and knowing that someone has your back and communication overall, learning to be relational, learning how to be a great listener, learning how to ask questions, learning how to support someone, show up for them. That's the stuff that makes you great, boyfriend material and being honest and So but you seem like you have such interest and depth, truly, that you will get there. Yeah. No, I think you had to go through, we all go through that. I think a lot of us go through that. And so, And you might get out there and be like, you know what, actually, I do kind of just want to sleep around. Like, that's all okay too.
Yeah.
But you learn in each relationship. So.
Well, I don't know. I think like being back from that, obviously that
you've been
trip,
through a lot.
I've put a lot of, like, whereas before I would kind of fold to a lot of maybe female attention and a bit, I should go see this person or that person. But now I'm like really kind of reluctant to text people back or to talk to anyone or just even see anyone. Because I'm like, I don't.
That's good though. That's healthy. You need some time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to like go back to that and be like, I just want to focus on myself.
Yeah.
And then when I'm ready, I'm sure the right person will come.
Yeah, that's really I want to say something like that's such a great, like, I think, and I just want to say, like, I get it. Like, I used to be that way. I started a show called Sex with Emily. I was like, I love attention. I love getting, like, men always want me. Like, why don't I just start the show? And I've gone through changes too. I'm like, I don't need that anymore because I used to think I needed that attention from everyone. Yeah. And now I'm like, I'm so good with myself that, like, I don't, like, because at the end of the day, it comes from, like, that was trying to fill up that huge hole inside of me. And you realize it'll never be enough. Like, I could get so much attention from men or from people, and then you're like, but it still feels empty. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, so what is that hole? That hole for me was like childhood trauma or issues or things I had to work on, and then building my own self-confidence. So what I'm saying is, like, I love, and I got to a point too, I was like, oh, I don't actually need this anymore. I really don't need it. And I got to do this work so then I can show up for someone else and be a good partner. But it sounds like you're there, but it doesn't just happen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm working on it. Okay.
Go back to sex toys or what?
No, we did talk a lot about sex, and there's a lot more sex
Can I
to
say
talk
sex
about.
toys are your teammates, not your enemy. They help for the majority of women. They have so many nerve endings in and out. Like a toy, like your penis doesn't vibrate. It just doesn't. And vibrations are healing and can feel great, and they're also great on a penis.
What are your thoughts on celibacy? Because we talked a lot about sex.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there is a celibacy movement happening right now. It's so funny. I was on the Today Show this year. They called me. They're like, and I've been on a few times, but it's never been talked about. Like, I'm like, I'm Sex with Emily. You want me to come in and talk about celibacy? But there is a movement right now.
Do we hate those people?
No, we love those people.
Okay.
We love those people. No, I loved it. I was like,
how
funny that I'm talking about not having sex.
Yeah.
No, I'm like, listen, I'm not like everyone should be having sex all the time. We should be mindful about when we want it, when we don't. And so the celibacy movement is mostly being led by, in America at least, by women who are like, I've been on this dating treadmill. I'm having a lot of sex that doesn't feel good. I'm dating like guys that aren't making me feel good about my self-worth. I'm just going to stop having sex for a while. So I kind of what you just said, they can really like focus on myself. They find that sex is distracting, or they're not able to make good decisions, because I want to name it. When we start dating someone new, remember I talked about those feel-good hormones and that attraction, the honeymoon phase is, we all want that all the time.
Every
it's
day.
The best. But it doesn't last. Like, it's literally a biological condition that lasts from 6 months to 2 years, where we have that, like I said, those delicious cocktail of hormones in our head. That's like, everything's new. I've never touched this person before. We've never done this thing, but that isn't going to last. So I think for celibacy movement is like, I think it's great if you want to take a beat and be like, I'm not going to have sex for a while. I think that's healthy.
I think that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I love it. Good for you. I mean, literally, that's been your career. Is built up like, how can I not have sex? I gotta have sex, and all these women wanting. I can't even imagine. I'd love to sit down and look at your DMs. Like that's so exciting. Like that's so like, oh my god. But now you're at the point where you're like, huh? Like
there's even people I don't have sex with that get me in trouble, and we should have just fucked.
Right. At least I would have got something to remember this by.
Yeah.
And now it's just
at least
drama.
you would have got disappointed, and I would have came.
At least you'd really have something to be mad at me about. It gets tricky.
Yeah, silly.
I know. Maybe you take some time and like think about what you actually want.
Yeah.
And I want to just, you're going through, I mean, it's really hard to be in like grief or and then be like, I'm just going to have sex. And then that'll feel empty because you're like, it felt good for a minute, but now I want to feel my feelings. So build your friend
longer
group.
than a minute,
What?
10 minutes maybe. Yeah, 15, I don't know.
Okay, good.
Don't pump my ties.
Right, you're not a minute man.
When I'm on Lexapro, 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Unreal.
But think about,
that was half the reason I was on it.
That's why you have to be on to last longer? Well, yeah. Yeah, it delays your ejaculation.
No, I swear to God.
And now what's going to happen?
I started seeing this girl, and she's like, no guys ever lasted this long. It'd be like hours. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It just is what it is, I can't help myself. And then once the Lexapro started to really like settle in, and then she's like, oh, you must love me because you're coming a lot quicker this time. I'm like, yeah, I'm really in love with you.
Yeah.
Like, we got to be together. Never spoke to her again.
No.
Anyway, let's talk about...
Think of all the women on antidepressants, why they can't orgasm either.
Yeah,
so
get off them, guys. Oh, no, stay on them.
Yeah.
Do whatever.
No, don't ever just go off them randomly.
Don't
Talk
do
to
what
your
I
doctor.
did.
Taper off.
Okay, this is a really interesting question. Okay, so when you're dating someone and their partner is subscribed to someone's OnlyFans, what are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on people watching? Or
Yeah, I mean,
'cause
I
know
think it's a case by case. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see why that would be very triggering
yeah,
because we don't really have an understanding of. You're like, well, and I know that I used to think this too. Like, if someone's watching porn or they're doing that, like that must mean that I'm not enough. So it really
Yeah.
goes to our like I abandonment things or like I'm not
Right.
enough for you. And the one thing I want to say about porn and masturbation is like I always say like guys are gonna masturbate in a relationship, out of a relationship, like they're gonna do that. It's not really related to you
guys
or
be
the
jacking off.
guys be jacking off. But I could see why that would be like if you're like you're paying money.
Yeah, it's a
Like
bit.
you're paying money to so I think it's a conversation. Like tell me so this is what we have to practice, and this is gonna help you be good boyfriend material. Is that when we a lot of times things like that upset us and we lead with anger. We're like, I can't believe you're paying this money a month to see someone. You'd be like, oh, yeah, I noticed you're subscribed. So this is what we have to remember. In our most calm, compassionate voice and chill, tell me more about that. What does it do for you? Like, tell me about why do you follow her? Like, let me, what is it about it? Like, I want to know. Like, I want to
be curious.
get curious.
Yeah.
Get curious and listen.
And then
because
slash his tires.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The second you leave.
Yeah. Get
But
curious.
find out more. But like, this is what we don't do because
Right.
it's so like I'm feeling like threatened and abandoned. That's why we don't like our partners watching
Right.
porn. But I'm like, just understand their masturbation habits. Like maybe for them, it's a huge, for many guys and women, it's a stress release to have an orgasm. You're like, it's calming or it keeps you awake or whatever you need at the moment. So just really understanding. But I also understand like it's a case, some couples think that's cheating.
Yeah.
Some people are like, oh yeah, I get it. That's just his thing. But I actually feel better because I understand it now and it doesn't really bother me. So
What about it on like a lower scale where people get upset about liking photos on Instagram?
that's a big one too. I think again, tell me about liking that photo. Like, what is that? Is it because like what's behind that when you're liking a photo? Like, just understand it. But I get why that's upsetting too. But I think we go way too far with that. Like, so what?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, no, I've been in a situation where I would like everything on my feed, and I just tell her like, "Oh no, I just like everything. You can watch me. Like I don't really care." And then I saw that it was actually like pissing her off and making her sad. So I was like, okay, I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So it's really not a big deal either or.
Yeah.
How I saw it. Like if it's upsetting you, then let's talk about it. But like, don't rip my head off.
Yeah, right. I think it's just, again, we are always looking for signs where we're not going to feel safe.
Yeah.
And so that can be really upsetting to see someone doing that. But if I told you we're in a relationship, I'm like, that doesn't feel good, then yeah, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
But I get that too. Some people are like, I just go in and like everything on them. It's like a habit. It's like, oh, sometimes people are just like, it just makes you feel better. But that's why these conversations,
You need to
being able
talk.
to listen, you got to talk.
Okay. Apparently, as couples get older, they start to sleep in each other's room in separate rooms. Is that a thing?
I don't even know if it's older. I think it would help a lot of relationships. But yeah, sometimes
Really?
people.
Okay. So your team.
I'm
separate
team
room.
I'm team figuring out what works for you. But this
Right.
whole like living apart together movement is what it's called, like the lap movement, separate bedroom, separate home sometimes. I mean, it's hard when you have kids, but like, listen, it's really hard to move in with somebody and want to have sex all the time.
Right.
So when you have your separate space and your separate time, you're like,
Be kind of nice.
it's freaking nice. It's
Yeah.
really hard. I don't know.
And
I like living
closet
alone.
Space? I know how many shoes I got.
I know. You got to share this space. It's really
Yeah,
hard.
You know, sometimes like actually a lot of girls on a date, they just like spread out and stuff and
Yeah.
take the whole bed. Like I'm 6'5".
Yeah. Yes.
Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do this. If I get married,
Yeah.
we're having separate rooms.
Separate rooms is because also
Yeah.
we need our space. Listen,
Yeah.
this goes down to like everything that we're taught about relationships, which is very zero things. We see
Yeah.
one model of relationships. You get married, you stay with this person you have kids, you stay with each other forever. It's the only person you have sex with, but we're not going to give you any information about how to actually keep the desire going. While separation can help people feel more attracted to each other. Like, what if just one night a week you share the bed or 2 nights a week? Why is that wrong? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we get to decide. So I love that you even asked me that because people can go, yeah, maybe that doesn't work for me. Maybe I do want a separate bedroom and we have one room that we sleep in or we visit. I think people move in way too fast without actually realizing that it's going to dampen your arousal.
Yeah, I also feel like it's not a bad thing on a relationship to have separate rooms.
It actually can save relationships.
For sure.
Yeah, or they snore or they get up at different times. Why do we have to sleep with someone?
Yeah, I love to get up early.
Yeah.
Have your sleep in.
Exactly.
Okay, do you believe in you lose them the way you get them? That saying, you lose them the way you get them. So like, okay, that person cheated on their boyfriend with you, and then
right.
now you're dating, and they're gonna cheat on you with someone else. Because that's happened to me. I've definitely lost them. How I've got them.
It's something to note. I think, like, yeah, if someone cheated on you, they might leave you. They might cheat on you again with someone else. I think we see a lot of examples of that. But again, I'm not a fan of being like absolutes. And so if someone like cheated on their partner and then got with you, I think it's like understanding, why did it happen? What was wrong in the other relationship? Why did they cheat? How do they feel about that morally? How do you guys put things in place so like that doesn't happen? But I think also when we're actually, so I'm a reformed cheater. I used to always cheat on like every partner. I never got caught either. I don't know.
Really?
No.
What did you do?
I think women are better at cheating, to be honest.
For sure.
But I this was like a long time ago, but I was like, oh, I finally got to the point where I was like, oh, that doesn't feel good. Like, I know I was doing it because there was another shiny thing and there was always people to have sex with. Like, you know when you say, like, I'm always dating people who are emotionally unavailable, people say that. Usually it's because you're emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
And I wasn't available. I was, like, always looking for the next shiny thing. I didn't want to work on whatever issues I was having with the person that I was tired of having sex with. And there was always someone else. And that was that feel-good thing. Like, now I'm going to get more attention. And that's going to feel good. Like, I was still in that cycle. But I'm not in that cycle anymore. Like, I just wouldn't do that anymore because I know it doesn't feel good.
Right.
And I'm just like dating right now too. But like, I just know that how that feels and why I do it. I've just done so much work that I know that like, that's not fair to this person. So you kind of can gauge it by, if that person's still on their like fuck boy or fuck girl, like it probably will happen again.
Yeah.
But depending on the stage of life, where they're at, why they did it, you know. So I don't.
So you
think
don't
there's
believe
any
in that
absolutes.
saying, once a
I don't
cheater,
believe
always
it.
a saying.
No, I don't believe that saying, once a cheater, always a cheater.
Okay.
But yeah.
Good. Yeah, because I feel like, again, people, they just have to acknowledge that.
Yeah, they have to acknowledge it. They have to change and say, I'm really working on this. Here's why. I would get in these triggers. I felt like I wasn't, because for me, again, but it's so hard. I didn't even know it, but I wasn't talking about that. I wasn't like actually expressing what I needed in the relationship. I was just going to find something shinier and newer. But
what about the saying, if he wanted to, he would? How do you feel about that?
I don't love that phrase.
I don't like that either.
No, if he wanted to,
Tell him.
Tell him. He doesn't know. He's
Guys are
not a
stupid.
mind reader.
We're
They're
dumb.
not stupid, but they're
We
not
are.
mind readers.
Well, I am.
And
That's
he
what it
doesn't
is.
know. And even maybe.
Yeah.
But even like if you tell them, here's the thing, they're like, oh, but I told them and they didn't do it. How many times does it take someone to learn a new skill or a new habit? Just because you told them to do something? Yeah. So I don't believe in that.
Okay. How do you recommend couples keep this spark alive after the honeymoon phase has died out?
Talk communication is a lubrication. Keep talking about sex. Keep exploring. Download the yes, no, maybe list. Make sex a priority.
Well, that was it. Is there anything you want to plug?
Oh my God, no. I guess just my podcast, Sex with Emily. I have millions of
Yeah.
episodes on every single topic. I have a membership if you've been wanting to like learn how to communicate and have better sex. It's called Smart at Sex. I have a store where I sell all my favorite sex toys.
I'm joining. I'm signing
Check
up.
it out. Check it out.
Well, guys.
It's all the things. Sex with Emily everywhere.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Sex with
having me.
Emily everywhere. Thank you so much for coming. If you
Thank
did
you
enjoy
for-
today's episode, please give her a follow. Please find her. Please have better sex, because we'd stop World War III if we were all coming
I know.
more. It would be way
It's
better.
true.
But if you did enjoy today's episode, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Spotify and Apple, because a lot of you guys listen but don't follow, and that's very naughty. And you're going to have 10 years bad sex if you don't follow the podcast. If you do, you're going to be coming every time. All right, we love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
That was great.
So fun.